The night my family laughed at my business idea, I stayed silent. 1 year later, they weren't laughing anymore. They were asking for 50%. And what I did next changed everything. My name is Emily Carter. And the day I told my family I wanted to start my own business, they laughed. Not the cute, supportive kind of laugh. The kind that makes you question yourself. We were sitting at the dinner table when I said I wanted to launch my own online fashion brand. My father didn't even look up from his plate. My mother sighed like I had disappointed her again, and my older brother slowly clapped and said, "Here comes the next millionaire." Everyone laughed. I forced a smile, but inside, something changed. I had spent months planning this, researching suppliers, studying marketing, saving every dollar from freelance work. I wasn't dreaming. I was preparing. But in their eyes, I was just being dramatic. "Just get a stable job," my father said, "or focus on getting married." My mother added. That night, I didn't cry loudly. I just stared at the ceiling and made a decision. If they wouldn't believe in me, I would believe in myself. The next morning, I registered my business name, alone, quietly. My bedroom became my office. My closet became storage. I had only $3,000 saved. No investors, no connections, just determination. The first few weeks were slow. No orders, no support. My brother passed my room one day and joked, "CEO still waiting for customers." I smiled at, because I knew success takes time. Then one night at 11:47 p.m., my phone buzzed. First order. I stared at the notification for a full minute. Someone believed in my idea enough to pay for it. My hands shook while packing it. I even wrote a handwritten thank you note. I ran to tell my mom. She barely reacted. Let's see how long this phase lasts. Phase. That word stayed in my head. So I stopped sharing my progress. I worked silently, learned ads, improved packaging, answered every customer personally. Orders slowly increased. 5 a week, then 20, then 50. I reinvested everything. No shopping, no vacations, just growth. 3 months later, I was making more than my brother. But I said nothing, because real success doesn't argue. It surprises. And I was preparing for that surprise. Exactly 11 months after they laughed at me, everything changed. An influencer with 2 million followers found my brand. She ordered 3 pieces, posted them, and within 24 hours, my website crashed. Thousands of orders, notifications exploding. I sat on my bedroom floor surrounded by boxes and laughed. Not because of the money, but because I remembered that dinner table, the slow clap, the mockery. The next morning, my father called a family meeting. His tone was different now, careful, curious. "We've been hearing things," he said. "Is it true you made that much this week?" I nodded. The room went quiet. My brother leaned forward. "You should scale properly," he said. "With guidance." I stayed silent. Then my father said the sentence I'll never forget. "As a family, we should take 50%. 50% for guidance they never gave, for support that never existed." My brother agreed instantly. "It's fair," he said. I looked at them calmly. "When I asked for 1 year, you gave me doubt," I said. "When I packed orders at midnight, you gave me jokes." Silence, heavy and uncomfortable. "This company survived without 50%, I continued. "It doesn't need it now." My father's voice turned cold. "Don't forget who raised you." I met his eyes. "And don't forget who laughed at me." That night, no one spoke at dinner. But something had shifted. They weren't laughing anymore. They were calculating. A week after I refused, my supplier suddenly canceled our contract. No warning. When I called him, he hesitated, then quietly said, "Your brother contacted us." That was the moment I understood. This wasn't about family anymore. It was about control. I didn't panic. I found 2 new suppliers within 48 hours, paid more, secured stronger contracts, locked everything legally. Then rumors started spreading among relatives that I was greedy, that I was disrespectful. That success had changed me. Funny how confidence in a woman becomes the arrogance in their eyes. My mother came into my room one night. "Why can't you just share?" she asked softly. For a second, guilt tried to return, but I remembered packing orders alone, crying quietly, being laughed at. "Sharing is for those who stood with you," I said gently. She didn't respond. Then came the worst move, a legal complaint accusing my brand of plagiarism, anonymous submission, but my lawyer traced it. The IP address linked back to my brother's office. That night, I walked into the living room with printed proof. "You forgot to hide your tracks," I said calmly. My brother's face turned pale. My father shouted, My mother cried, but I stayed calm. Next time, I won't keep this private, I said quietly. The house felt smaller that night, and I realized something important. Sometimes growth requires distance, and I was ready to create it. The next morning, I moved out. No drama, no shouting, just boxes. A lease signed under my name. High-rise apartment close to my warehouse. For the first time in months, I slept peacefully. No tension outside my door. No whispers in the kitchen. My business continued to grow. 6 figures monthly. Then 7. I hired staff. Expanded internationally. Secured magazine features. And then my father called. His voice softer than before. "We need to talk," I agreed. But at my office, my space, when they arrived, they didn't look confident anymore. My father cleared his throat. "We made mistakes," he said slowly. Then I repeated it. 50% is still fair. I almost smiled. Even after everything, they still believed they deserved half. I stood up and handed them envelopes. Inside were timelines, screenshots, proof of every late night, every struggle, every moment I stood alone. At the bottom, one sentence was written: built alone, risked alone, survived alone. My brother scoffed. "Now you're choosing money over family," he said. I shook my head. "I'm choosing self-respect over control." Silence filled the room. This wasn't revenge through anger. It was revenge through independence. I looked at them one last time, not as a daughter asking permission, but as a CEO protecting her vision. "You can apply," I said calmly. My father frowned. "I applied," he repeated. "Yes," I replied. "Submit a resume. Interview professionally. Earn a salary. No ownership." My brother looked insulted. "You want me under you?" he asked. I met his eyes. "I want you to respect what I built." That was the difference. They wanted control. I wanted respect. My mother asked quietly, "And if we refuse?" I walked toward the window overlooking the city. "Then nothing changes," I said. "You live your life. I live mine. But my company stays mine." They left without another word. The door closed softly. I sat down and finally exhaled. Revenge isn't screaming. Revenge is standing firm when people expect you to fold. 3 months later, my company reached 8-figure valuation. Investors lined up. Expansion deals signed. And one afternoon, I received an email. Subject line: job application. Sender: my brother. I stared at the screen for a long moment, then smiled, not because I defeated them, but because I proved to myself that belief is stronger than laughter. They laughed when I started my business. Then they wanted 50%. In the end, they learned something priceless. If you don't believe in someone when they are building, you don't get to own them when they rise.